3. Are we recording?
Yep.
Okay. So, yeah, so when I went in and I started to change all of this stuff, right there, this is an old file, so this isn't the one that I changed. I started looking at these numbers, and then because as I started to go through, and then I'm like, okay, well, these don't balance off with the other ones, because I saw this worldwide year to date.
Yep.
And then as I went down the line, it wasn't matching. Which one was it? Promises. Yeah, because I looked at this worldwide.
Okay, so in that first one, what's the measure it's looking at?
The 2018 promise.
Yeah, but what's the measure it's looking at?
Well, 30%.
Yeah, but 30% of what?
That is a good question.
Well, what does the header say?
Effective courses.
That's right. So the promise for 2019, and that should say 2019 promise.
Yeah, this is an old file.
Yeah, but it says that 30% of the courses will be effective.
Okay.
Now, there's no MA for that because the MA is for the individual measures which make up an effective course.
Right.
So essentially, the leader's promise is 100%. You know, their promise is I'm going to meet the measure every time. I mean,
right.
that's what that's the game they're playing. Every course is an effective course, but they're not going to promise 100% of the courses. They're only promising 30% of the courses.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that promise is for the percentage of effective courses. Now go back to your promises tab. It's a purple one.
Mm-hmm.
Those are for the individual measures. There's no measure called effective.
Right.
So
that
it won't show up here anywhere.
Right. Okay. So that 30% is just, I guess, as the year goes on, it's just accumulative, right?
Well, yeah, 30% of the courses for the year. So if you go back to that, I mean, it's a shame that they're so far away, but go back to that first tab. It's the intent one, fourth one. Yeah, that one right there. So that shows you for the combined courses. You know, again, it's an old file, but it would show October quarter and January quarter. It would show the number of courses for access to power, power to create, and combined across the first row.
Right.
And 33% is, so they're above on the power to create, but below on the access to power. And because they're 9 below with more courses, it's 24% if, combined. is also below 30%. Then the next table on the left, the worldwide for the years, shows the previous years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so 15 and 16 made 30%. 05 was 11%, so they've taken a lot of ground.
Yeah.
And in the next one, you can say for the access to power and the power to create, where are the strengths and weaknesses? Just, by region. So,
Okay.
so Canada's had 1 out of 3, India's had 3 out of 5. Overall, they're still at 21% because they've only had 3 out of 17 in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
But they've had 3 out of 5 outside the U.S., 3 out of 6 outside the U.S., and 1 out of 6 inside the U.S. for 33%. So the outside the U.S. has made the difference. But that's what that area is, and it doesn't have anything to do with the minimum acceptable.
Mm-hmm. So 0 out of 4.
Yeah.
And that's as of July, right? So that would
it's updated the 26th of August, so that's as of the July quarter, which ends the end of September. The quarters are named by the first month of the quarter, so the January quarter starts in January, April starts in April, July starts in July, and October starts in October.
Okay.
So this is all the courses from the start of the July quarter through the 26th of August.
Oh, okay. So, so this is year to date and this is quarterly.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when this goes to the October quarter, how does this change?
You just type in the word October there. Look at the formula below it. See how it says just click on that formula to see what it references. See, it references the July 2018, so you could just type in, January 2019 and recalculate, and you'd see the.
Okay, so but then what I'm trying to establish is what's manual and what's not. Okay.
Yeah, you'd have to change those July.
Is there a list anywhere of stuff I need to change?
There's a recording. We did that on a recording once. Okay. I'll see if it's one that's I've shared with you. But we did record that once. Go through.
Okay. All right. So how many of these tabs do they still use?
All of them.
Okay, so there's nothing in here that's not used anymore?
Nancy is working with Zoe to see if there are any that can be removed, but there are a couple that I think should be removed. Click on that rollout schedule. That's the date of the first Access to Power course worldwide. Starting in November 2016. I mean, that's ancient history. I don't know why we need that, but they want it.
So Access to Power only started in 2016?
They developed the Access to Power with enhancements, what they abbreviate CAPE. They started it in January 2016 in development, and they had a couple of the leaders do courses with the new material, and they were changing it. So in October they had a training. They had an intensive where they trained everybody in the new course, and they started the courses uh, the 12th of November 2016. So that's the rollout of the new course.
Okay. So should that be cap E?
I just did it the way they wanted it. This is one that I think it should be. I mean, the if you take a look at the Mumbai, Anaheim, Ahmedabad, their first access to power was in the 25th of March, and Nilesh led it. And the first power to create was the 20th of May, and Nilesh led that. But, so that just shows you where the first access to power. And then that, it should say Cape, you're right, but that's for each week. What are the locations that have the courses? Like on the 4th of February, 2017, we had Bangkok, Boston, Melbourne, Minneapolis, San Diego, and Washington, D.C.
Okay. I guess I just, I don't understand the correlation of these dates with these.
The first column is alphabetical by location.
This one? Yeah.
Ahmedabad, Atlanta, Auckland, Austin, Bangkok. So that's alphabetical by location, and it shows you the access to power and the power to create rollout for that location. And then starting in column K, those are each week, what is rolling out that week. So the 4th of February had 6 courses. The 11th of February had 3 courses. The 18th of February had 1. So there are 2 different displays, and then the purple to the right is the power to create, rollout by week. So the first 6 columns are rollout by location, and the rest of it is rollout by week.
Okay. Got it. Let's see what's happening. Okay. Well, can we, I don't think we ever...
But Nancy's looking to see if there's anything that they don't need anymore.
Okay. So, I don't think we ever went through tab by tab.
All right, well, let's do it. So the weekly cap, all it does is shows you the left-hand side is the individual courses.
Mm-hmm. And you can change these here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
But that's the left-hand side is the year-to-date, which is cumulative. So, it changes slowly after a time. So 70s, 71, 72. And then the right-hand side is the individual weeks. So you can see that starting in June 30th, where it was 70.
June 30th.
B31.
Yeah.
B31. See how it's 70, 70, 70, 71, 71, 72, 73, 72. If you look at the corresponding column K, see how it's
88.
Yeah, it's got 88, 82, 70, 85, 113. So that's why the left-hand side it seems to be going up, and then at 57. So that's a cumulative on the left, and week by week on the right. And the bottom is the previous year. So roll down.
Yeah.
That's the previous year, and it's red if behind the previous year.
Okay, weekly cap. So if it's highlighted, so that's behind
February 10th,
last
2017, which is February 10th. Yeah, right there.
72. Okay. So is this year one of those years with 53 weeks?
I don't know. Probably not, because I think the first of the year was this. Well, it could be the 6th. No, in order to have 53 Fridays, it's got to start on the 1st or the 2nd, right? 365 divided by 7 is 52.14. So it's got to start on the 1st or the 2nd.
Perfect. And this is just CPC
Same thing.
or
Okay.
pH history.
If you go back, just go back to either the, just go back to that one. If you take a look at that for changing it for the next year, you know, you obviously have to change the year in B3. You'd obviously have to change the date in A6. A6.
So that would be,
What is it, J6? Look and see J6.
so is that, so would that be
The 5th. It'd be the 5th.
5th Saturday?
Yeah, but look at J, rather than changing it there, look at J. Way over in J. Date of B311. Oh, okay. Yeah, so once you change that to 2019.
Right.
Okay, which you have to change the validation since it limits it to 2018. But once you do that, just do data validation. Data validation is the middle of that. It's about 60% across the top. Keep going to the right. Keep going to the right. Keep going to the right. That one.
Yes.
Yeah, data validation. See how the maximum you can make that 2019. Now if you put 2019 in there. And then recalculate it, it should change the date. I'm still jealous about your 8 threads.
Quad core.
Yeah, and you don't have any data for 2019, but that's how that works.
Okay. Cool.
There are also some hidden tabs which you have to change, and you have to change the year there too. But yes,
Well, this one does it by itself.
yeah, and you got the 2018 data there.
Yeah. Cool. Why is that blank?
Well, remember, you only had data up to the 26th of August, so the one on the left is cumulative up year to date, so you don't have a complete.
Right.
Your courses is abbreviated because you've got an old file. Not only don't you have any 2019 data, you don't have any data past the 26th of August 2018.
Okay.
Okay. And then
Perfect.
right click and do unhide the CPC work, CPC by week. You also have to change the date there. Yeah, it's the 6th of February. You have to change that. Everything else, I think, is calculated, right? Yeah, so you have to change that one, but
So that would be 19.5.
19.5, yeah. And it picks it out of the calendar, but the blue line is this week. Of course, it's this week, so.
Okay. Oh, that's neat. Conditional formatting.
Oh yeah. And the different colors are the quarters, so you can see what the quarters look like.
Okay. $53 weeks.
Yeah, but if you notice, it's the 4th of January 2020, so 52 weeks is the 28th of December, so.
Right.
That was only 52 weeks this year. Anyway, there's also a CAP by week, which has got the courses by week for the access to power, but it's also hidden.
Mm-hmm. Okay. This is formulas everywhere.
Yeah, well, what it does is it's looking for the courses out of the calendar, and it's just picking up 2 different columns. So just click on one of them, and it says if it's an error, if there is no course, then put blanks. So that's about 1/3 of the formula. So that you pick up the first index. So you pick up index calendar B, so you're picking up column B of that course, and column B is the location, followed by a blank. And then you pick up the index of column E, which is the leader.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just picking up the course.
Cool. All right, what's next? Our pH history.
It's just a average of the registrations divided by the in-area participants, and every year you just add a new column and change the year. Click on the 07 formula. Just click on it to see what it references. See how it references the A5 and the 06.
Yeah.
So when you make a new new column with 2019, you just have to make sure the 2019 gets referenced in the formula. Will pick up all the courses, do the calculation for you. So that's a simple one.
Okay. So all of that would have already been done, right?
Yeah, in the
newer file.
Yeah.
Okay. And that so that would have been one of the yearly changes, which is that other video that we did.
Yeah. So roll down this one, effective courses, and then that's the power to create effective courses. Mm-hmm. And then year-to-date averages. Again, so for the 2019, you just add a row for 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Copy the formatting so that there's, it's yellow for the old year and conditional formatting for the current year. Mm-hmm. Now the promises, those promises is what they were asking about. So that you're in the power to create. So if you roll up to the access to power.
Okay, so these are calculated until 2011, and then it's just hard coded, right?
Yeah, remember there was a time, we used to have the data all the way back to 2005 in the courses tab, but you know, getting up to 7,000 courses, none of whom were going to change.
Right.
So at 2000, we said we're going to freeze everything before 2012 and just remove it. So you've got courses for 2012. That's why it's still calculation. But 2011 to 2002 is just sort of historical constants.
Okay.
Now roll back up again. Those are implementation promises, and those should match your promises tab.
Got it. Let's see. Quarter versus quarter. So these are, okay, so this is quarterly, yeah?
It's quarterly for the last 2 years, and then yearly before that. So in 2019, we took out the 2016 quarters and added the 2018 year. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is 2019. These guys. So here's 2018. Okay.
Yeah, I was wrong. We didn't take out the 2016 quarters, but we probably could. Probably could take out the October 16 quarters. So it's just got 17 and 18 quarter by quarter and years back to 2013.
And then, so you just delete these?
Well, I'd check with Nancy first, but certainly next year you'd want to clean up some of those.
Yeah.
Also, if you look at A87, that's the only one that's not all capitals, so you probably want to clean up some of that. But row 81 is the access to power promises from your promises tab, so that's where you'd want to check, make sure that that's there.
Okay, so that's the promises and the minimum acceptable. Right. And again, these are these Zoe's promises?
When they implemented the course, they said there'll be a point where the implementation has been successful. That is, we are now able to lead the course as designed. And the measure for being able to say the implementation has been successful are these measures. So that's why they're implementation promises, and they're different from the minimum acceptables.
Okay. And do they ever change these, or?
They won't change the implementation promises, but what that used to be was a quarterly promise. So every quarter, Zoe would have a chance to change her promise for this quarter. But until the implementation has been successful, those are unlikely to change.
Okay. So they're constantly striving towards that then.
Until there's a point where they say implementation is successful, and then they may change them. But that's where you would change the promises if they ever do.
Okay. So this 57 is like way below the 75, or the 80.
Yeah, I wonder why that 28 is green rather than not.
Not
Check the
red.
conditional formatting on that. B82 is greater than B80. Okay, so it's colored against the MAs, not the implementation promises.
So it should be C?
I don't know, but that's what it's. That's why I was just wondering why it's
Green.
it's green. It's green because it's compared against the MAs, not against the implementation promises.
Hmm.
And they're no longer tracking the landmark form registration percentage or registration per 100 for implementation. So that's why those are blue. They're not. They're just. They don't. They're not considered in the determination of successful implementation.
Okay. Why not?
They've changed the way the landmark form registration is done in the communication course,
Mm-hmm.
and they've taken it away from the leader.
Oh.
I mean, they used to have the guest would stay in the room for approximately the first half of the course, and then there would be a registration break so people could register into the landmark form or the communication program. And then the guest would go to a guest room and they would have a introduction led by an introduction leader to complete the night while the participants finish their course. That's been changed now, so the guests stay in their room for about 20 minutes for sharing. They see a video, and then they spend the rest of the night in the introduction leader's room. So the leader has little or no access to affecting that in the way they used to. So until they do something else, they've decided we're going to keep tracking it, but we're not going to consider that as part of our implementation criteria.
Mm.
It's not like it's not important, it's just that they've changed too many things in that area. So they're not, to have that area be part of the success criteria for implementation. They've also changed the introduction leaders program quite a bit. So again, they spend most of the night with something that's also been changing. So
Right.
now, okay. Any other questions on that one?
No, it's pretty straightforward.
Again, the blue line is this week.
Yeah.
And that's conditional formatting.
This is the quarter. But these are all of the courses and their locations. Cool.
And it says there are four courses completed with 14 courses to go.
Oh, very good. Okay. Pre and post implementation. So this is that. Is this that launch of that new version?
That's the implementation, yeah. So those are the same implementation promises. So remember,
Yeah.
the promises and the MAs are different. And they've just started to include the leaders in the implementation promises, but they're not being held to those implementation promise levels.
So what is the pre and post refer to?
If you take a look at the notations, October 16th was the tutorial and rollout, I-22.
Okay.
So they can see that, those 4 quarters were before the implementation, and then the years 2016 and before were before the implementation.
Mm. Okay. So towards, well, in 2020, will they still need this?
Yeah, probably. Well, I mean, they may, if the implementation is successful, they may not. But if they haven't met the implementation criteria, then they probably still need this report.
Okay.
And that's one also where you roll everything down a quarter, and every quarter you roll the most recent quarter. You insert a new quarter, and every year you insert a new year. And there are lots of hidden columns there, so you just need to be careful when you insert.
Yeah.
When you insert things, that you unhide those things, so you copy all of the columns that are referenced in the displays.
Got it. Okay.
And then for 2020, I mean, next quarter, starting in April, when you roll that thing down, you'll need to choose another color for the years. See how 16 is blue and purple and brown? You might want to choose an orange or something, or a gray, or probably not a gray, but you choose a different color for the year.
Got it. Okay. Cool. And that's quarterly.
And if you click on those cells, they're still calculated. So
this is the 2019 file.
Yeah.
But where's the? Oh, there. Okay, so January quarter date. So come January, March.
First of April, you'll insert a row between 13 and 14.
Right.
You'll, copy the formulas from what's currently 14 to the new one. Change the background color and just click into the, like that B14 cell. Next one over.
B14. Yeah.
Oh, that's an N, so you unhide the I through T. See how it's got the different quarters.
Yeah.
So when you move things down, you've got to make sure that you only move down the columns A through I.
Okay, right. So it doesn't insert in here.
Yeah, and then you want to reference quarter 2, which is row 11. And it's not until 2020 where you would insert four more rows of cells, J through whatever,
Mm-hmm.
to put in the 20 row year 2020 quarters 1, 2, 3, and 4.
So, actually, maybe that's something we should think about now. So, our last session in March. February. So, our last session in March, we can probably create the April quarter together.
When's Easter this year? Just take a look at Easter. Or go to the calendar tab. Just go far right to the calendar tab. If you do control click, it'll go all the way to the right in one. Just click on the calendar. And you can roll up to the March-April interface.
April.
You want to go to 19 March, April in 2019.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Yes.
Okay, so see how it goes from March 19th to, oh yeah, so when's Easter? Bangkok, Tokyo. So Easter is that first week of March, right?
Mm.
Yeah, no, it's 21st of April.
There it is.
Yeah.
Easter. So we need to look at this because
Sometimes April is the first, Easter is the first week of April, and you've got 2 weeks to do it. But this year you only got one.
okay, got it. Yeah. So yeah, so we can do we do that in our last session then. March 28th.
Well, what you'll be making changes for the quarter because there are several tabs that need to change for the quarter, but you can be changing that. You can be doing that now, and
just save the file.
And then you just take the courses file in the calendar from Toro when it's time and zap them in.
But if I was to make those changes now, I wouldn't have the data in that file.
You wouldn't have the data for all of the January quarter.
But then all I would have to do is just copy and paste, right?
Yeah, you just have to copy the courses and the calendar from Toro.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's all I would have to do, just copy and paste these rows here. Whatever's missing. Okay.
Yeah, you copy A through Z from, well, you could copy all of hers because she's got the same formulas, but
Yeah.
But at the very least, you take the A through Z and then paste those in, and then you take your calculations double A through HZ or whatever it is now, and copy those for the courses for the rest of the January quarter.
Maybe that is. I'm gonna work on that.
Current quarter, yeah, pre and post implementation.
Current quarter game.
Current quarter game is the most complicated display in the set, because you roll the quarter down, as you did before, like
Yeah.
you'd move the January quarter down, you'd make a April quarter actual.
Okay.
And then this part right there, that's not all of the courses, that's just all of the access to power with enhancements that are not in India or Singapore. So go to your calendar. Just go to your calendar, tap it again. And starting there with the 6th of March Tokyo course. Oh, sorry, the 9th of March. Oh, sorry. You want the April course. So 6th of April. Sorry, 6th of April Tokyo course. So copy columns. You don't want the whole thing, just columns. A, B, C, through F. And then copy all the way down till you come to the 1st of July. Okay, copy that. And copy it to a new sheet. Just paste it to a new sheet. I'd say a whole new workbook. Just do a whole new workbook.
Paste to a whole new workbook.
And just do Control N. Control N. Just click Control N. File new.
I am doing Control. Control.
Do file new. Yeah, blank workbook. And then paste. And now paste value. Okay. Yeah. Okay, now you want to do filtering, so do filtering. So just wait, sort and filter, yeah, just click filter. Okay, now in column C, unselect CAPE and CPC plus. Unselect CAPE and CAPE and CPC plus. Okay, do okay. Now delete all those rows. Delete all those rows.
No.
No, yeah, perfect. Okay, do filter clear. Way over on the right. Okay, perfect. Now on the column F, do deselect India. I mean, sorry, you want to leave India, so you want to deselect Australia, Canada, Europe, Israel, and US. Okay. And now you want to delete those rows. Okay, and now you want to sort filter clear. Okay, and now on column C, you want to sort, just want to sort ascending A to Z. Okay, so now those are the courses that you want to include from that LA course in row 2, through,
Mhm.
okay, so just copy A, B, and C, A, B, and
So let's start here.
A through E, row 2. Row 1 has got a Japan course. We were just using it as the labels, so you don't want to include that one. So just copy A through E. Oh no, just A and B, just A and B, A, B, C. You can do A and B. A and B is fine. Just copy A and B all the way down to row 32. And paste that into another sheet. Okay. Now, if you go back to your other sheet, take a look and see what you've got. No, sorry, your other workbook. Your other workbook. And go to the current quarter game. It's current quarter game. Sorry, it's in the red section. You've got it all the way to the left of the tabs. You want to match the format of that thing. So you need week 1, week 2, up through week 13, and followed by the date. So that's what we match. So just go back to your other workbook. Okay, and insert a column or move A and B over 1. Okay, so A1 should say week 1. Okay, and then A5 should say week 2. Okay, now that should say week 4, right?
Right.
Okay, and then week 5 and so on. Is that your keyboard making that singing noise?
Singing? I don't think so.
Oh, maybe it's just feedback on the mic. Nope, you need to 19 is week 8, yeah. Row 22 should say week 10. Then on row 32, you want to add a week 13 and a 22 June. Make it 29 June at 19. And then it should for the course it should say no cap, right?
No cap.
Yes, no space. See it. Okay. And then you should insert a row between 7 and 8 and do the same thing for week 3.
Is that 20?
Okay. Now, if you take a look at that, those 33 rows, 31 courses, is what you would paste into the current quarter game. See how it's got those. Where the location says no cap. Now the formulas, if you look at D54 or one of those formulas, if you just take a look at, see how it picks up the leader. So if Nancy changes the schedule, you don't have to come back here and retype this. It picks it up out of the calendar. So W54 picks up out of the calendar.
Okay.
But what you do is you paste the work you just did. See how the leader is over on the right in column W?
Right.
And that's picked out of the calendar. See how it's picking it up out of calendar, column E?
Yeah. So, okay. So every quarter, this has to be changed too.
Yeah. So if you go back to your worksheet and just take a look, just go back to that other worksheet and just copy those cells, A1 through C, copy, and paste it into A53. Just paste value, yeah. Okay. Now if you do recalculate that sheet.
So just delete these.
Yeah, you just have to watch out because you've got some calculations. See how it goes row 89 and then row 97?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you've got a lot of calculations below it. So go ahead and delete those rows. No, not those rows. From 86 through 89.
Yeah, I just wanted to see what was there.
Oh, unhide, yeah. Don't delete them, just unhide them.
So it's actually there's nothing here. It's actually all over here.
Yeah.
It's in the hidden columns, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's not hidden. They're just because she wanted to have the bottom of the Access to Power course visually close to the top.
Closer. Yeah.
So
no, when I say hidden, I mean these. These are usually hidden. These columns.
Those are hidden, yeah. So it's all of that stuff is hidden, and also the height is two pixels.
Too far. Yeah.
But if you take a look, if you can recalculate that tab. I mean that sheet. Just recalculate that sheet. See how it picked up the courses?
Mm-hmm.
Now you have to do a little bit of adjustments. See how the course for week 1 is empty?
Course for week 1. Yeah.
Okay, so you'd have to copy the formula from D54 up. The first week of January quarter was January holiday, so there was no course. Okay? And then on where it says no cap, you'd want to delete the NA. You just hit blank that out. And for the Boston and Atlanta courses, you'd have to copy that cell. And then see how the no cap is, the Boston and Atlanta are highlighted, they're bold. And traditionally what you've done is you've had the no cap be bold. So wherever it says no cap on 20th of April, and there was one other week, the 29th of June, the words no cap would be bold. Yeah, so anyway, that's the work to do, and then you'd want to delete the rows 86 and 87 and 88. Just delete those rows 86, 87, 88, and 89.
Okay. And that won't mess up anything over here, right?
No, you won't. It is good. And then just change the height of row 86 through 92 so you can see what's in there. Okay, and just check those calculations. Just make sure that, yes. So, yes. All you have to do is make sure that the sum adds up all those rows, so that it, but that's the work to be done at each quarter to change the courses. It's all the access to power, but none of the access to all of the enhanced courses, but not India and not out of area and not Singapore.
So is there a report for those other ones? India?
No, it's just that they don't want to include in the implementation success criteria displays locations that don't offer the enhanced course. It just doesn't make any sense.
Okay, got it.
And then India is a whole different world, and so they're not going to throw India in. Like India's pretty already successfully implemented the new course.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the culture is so different there. They're, one way to say it is they're hungry for transformation and have very little resistance to it.
That's neat. That's good.
So you offer them a new communication course. They dive into it. They'll have 80% registration by noon on Saturday.
That's awesome.
And they'll go home to their family and say, look, I want you to come and find out about transformation. And they'll go, I'm in.
Yeah.
And while Boston and Detroit will have 70, 80, 90 guests per 100, Bangalore will have 180, 250 guests per 100.
Wow.
So because it skews the results too badly.
Right. Yeah.
So and Singapore has the new course, but they're so infrequently that there's nothing for them to register into. So, and it's so few courses, they just throw Singapore out saying, we'll do the enhanced courses there, but it's a unique environment.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. And then you do the same thing with the power to create that you just did. This one doesn't need to be changed at all for the quarter.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one that we changed to consider it effective if it missed only the landmark form reg. Okay. Last 10. This is a slightly different display. If you look at the CAPE since implementation, it's only looking at the courses since implementation. So if you look at Becky, Carla, it only includes courses up to, see how Donna's got courses only up to the 15th of December, 2018 and 13th of May, 2017.
Okay, yeah.
She's been leading for a long time. So if you take a now look at the last 10 cap for Donna.
Mm-hmm.
See how she's way on the right. She's been leading since at least October 2015, except she leads the team management leadership program and mostly Power to Create in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
And because she leads the team management leadership program, that's 4 out of her 12 courses. And because she leads almost all of the Los Angeles Power to Create, she leads the access to power very infrequently. So the CAPE since implementation, she's only led 4 times. But if you look at her access to power since she's been leading since, God was a corporal.
Yeah. That's 10.
Okay. And then the highlighting is slightly different for the 2 displays. So it's.
So what's this one? The TCP, the last
10, the communication program. It combines access to power and power to create.
Okay, so this is all of them.
Yeah.
Just their last 10 courses, period.
Yeah. And there's a subtle difference in the coloring. You can see that the one you're on, the Ahmedabad cap, is in dark green, whereas if you look at the Delhi cap in July 2018, is in blue.
Oh, the text.
Yeah, the text.
Yeah. Okay. Is there a specific reason for that?
I think it's based on the date. So.
Okay.
So it's somewhere between the June 18 and July 18. Oh, it's before and after the forward.
Yeah.
So this was done at the forward. So that's the date with.
So this is the most recent one here.
December 18, yeah. And since the forward is green and before the forward was blue. Take a look at the conditional formatting for that. Yeah, look at the difference between that first formula and that second formula. Just hover over the formula equals. Just hover to the left of that.
No.
If $D2, so close that and just take a look at $D2. Yeah,
June.
so that's the date of the forward. See how D2 is 23rd of June?
Mm-hmm.
So if Zoe says, I'd like to have this display for the forward in 2019, that's where you would change it.
Okay.
This is for the coaches. It's pretty much for that week. Who's leading and what are their last 5 courses been? And if you look at Melbourne, Nicole has not led, so hers is blank. She's the leader in Australia.
Is she new? She's new.
Yeah, she just started to lead.
Cool. A lot of red ink here.
Okay, and that's the following week. And so on. So that's what the coaches used.
So, okay, this is so how do weeks get added?
Well, take a look at week 0. Just go back to week 0 and just go to the top and see where it says 9 February.
Yeah.
3. So that's future weeks. So if you look at the future weeks, it's the orange tab almost to the right of your display. See that orange tab?
Oh, yeah.
So this shows you the courses that are coming up for the next 8 weeks. And take a look at B3 on this one. A1. Now look at A1. So leader result check B1. So every time, every week, this display gets rolled over to the next 8 weeks. And then the week 0, week 1, week 2, week 7, pick it out of here.
Okay.
So it's pretty much automatic. You don't have to do anything with that. It picks it up every week.
And it creates a tab, week 8?
No, there's no week 8. They just want the next 6 weeks, but we need week 7 for the coaches display. So.
Okay. Okay. So these populate on their own.
Yeah. So it's all calculated. It's all calculated stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Again, that's Nicole, and she hasn't led. So as soon as she does, it'll start showing up in there.
Got it. Okay. Mm.
And then the coaches, this is their strengths and weaknesses. So if I take a look at Jorge, the weakest is TCP GP8, missed it 9 out of 10 times. Lime Rock Forum GPH missed 6 times.
Hmm.
That's the designation committees, their last 5 courses.
Designation committee, what's that? What do they do?
There are 2 levels for the process of becoming a course leader is you're not a course leader, and then you interview and you're accepted as a course leader candidate, but you're not approved to lead, and then you have somewhere between 7, 8, 9 months to a year, rarely longer, but sometime within a year after becoming a candidate, you're approved to lead. Then you lead communication courses, and once you become reliable for leading and reliable for being a communication course leader in the world, you can be designated as a communication course leader. So you're no longer a candidate, you're a course leader. And the people who interview you for that promotion are the designation committee. And that's these people. So these are very senior, very experienced, very wonderful communication course leaders who essentially interview people for promotions. It's the promotions board.
Okay. Teresa. Do we delete Teresa?
I think she's deleted in the most recent file.
Okay.
If not, yeah, then you should just check with Nancy. Hey, can I delete Teresa from the designation committee display? Strengths and weaknesses, that's an interesting display.
Yeah, look through this one. This one is quite nice. Nice, quick at a glance.
Yeah, do string wheat. So this is relatively complicated. What it's looking at is the last 10 courses. So if you take a look at, let's take a look at Becky, row 10.
Mm-hmm.
Becky's led 60 courses.
Mm-hmm.
So if I wanted the last 10, I would start with the last 10. The last course of the last 10 is number 60.
Last course.
If I number her courses 1 through 60, and I want the last 10, what's the number of the last course?
Okay. 60.
Right, and what's the number of the first of the last 10? Number 51.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now,
Right.
for Nicole hasn't led yet. I mean, she just finished her first course, but for hers, the total number of courses is 1. And so what's the number of her last 10? The last of the last 10? 1.
Mm-hmm.
So the first course and last course are of the last 10. What's the course number? So for Alan Silver, her last 10 starts with number 37 and goes through number 38 to 47. Anyway, so that just would be the course number for the last 10.
Right.
And then the first locator is what's the row number in courses for Alan's 38th course, and it's row 1451.
Right, on the courses sheet. Yeah.
And what's the row locator for her last course is 1833. G8. Which is 833 rows. That's what the size parameter is.
Cool.
So now, if you take a look at number 5, I8 for Alan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. See where that offset statement is?
Yeah.
What that does is it goes to the row locator for Alan's first course for the size of the difference between the first and last course. So essentially, I'm only looking at Alan's first and last courses. So that's what that offset does. It generates an array of those cells. And it's looking for those cells to be cap.
Yeah.
And it's also looking for landmark form GPH column, which is column AA, to be no. So that's the way it finds out how many times did Alan miss landmark form GPH in the last 10. She missed it 5 times.
Mm.
Okay?
And then it compiles this.
And so landmark form GPH missed it 5 times.
Boy, all of that just for this.
Okay? No, it gets better. Go back to the next tab.
String week.
Yeah, string week. Okay? So now I found out that Alan missed landmark form GPH 5 times, TCP GPH 4 times, TCP registration once, and CPC reg twice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's what those numbers are. And Donna, if you take a look at Donna, DOE on row 12, she's missed GPH 0, TCP 3, and then both the other 2 are 2. All right?
Yeah, that's cool.
So the next column, the rank.
Mm-hmm.
I want to rank those numbers 1 through 4. So in 7 is the first, the cell you're looking at of those 4 numbers, 7, 5, 0, and 3. You've got to stop moving your cursor, or what I want to do is in the next 4 cells, rank the number of times missed.
Okay.
So 7 is the biggest, so that's got rank 1. 5 is the next, that's got rank 2. 0 is the next, it's rank 4, and 3 is the next, it's rank 3. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So that puts them in order. However, if you look at Donna, the row just above that,
Yeah.
it's 4, 1, 2, 2. So I can have a duplicate.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the next 4 cells,
Yeah.
one of those 2's a 3.
Mm. Yeah.
Right?
So I guess that's looking for duplicates.
Yeah. So what it does is it takes the rank and adds the number of times that same rank occurs to the left of it. So it takes 4, 1, 2, 2 and makes it 4, 1, 2, 3 because that CPC reg finds another 2 and adds 1.
Got it.
Now, if you look at Manthan, row 20, he ain't missed nothing.
Yeah.
So it's 1, 1, 1, 1. So the ranks are all 1. They're all the same.
Mm-hmm.
So the columns Q, R, S, and T makes that 1, 2, 3, and 4 because it finds 1 once in cell R, column R, and it finds it twice in S and finds it 3 times in T. So it adds 1, 2, and 3. So anyway, Q, R, S, T is what I want.
Yeah.
Q, R, S, and T, I want unique numbers. So then the next 4 columns pull the headers out in the order of the non-duplicate rank. So that's the order of which they're weak.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
So if you go back to Donna, Donna missed TCP GPH 3 times. So it's first, she missed TCP reg and CPC reg twice. So those are the next 2. And she missed Landmark Forum GPH not at all. So that's in rank 4. So that's U, V, W, and X.
Okay. Cool. And then it just combines them.
So then what it does is it takes the rank and inserts the number of times missed.
Yeah. Cool. Very nice.
Does it just check AA12? Just check AA12. AA12. Did she really miss TCP GPH 3 times? Just go back to, yeah, she did. She missed TCP GPH 3 times. So that's how it steps through the going left to right. It finds the first course and the last course for the last 10. It finds the locators for those first and last course of the last 10. It finds the size of that between the first and last. It then uses the size to build an array to count the number of times an access to power missed that particular result. It then ranks those number of times 1 through 4, and then it removes duplicates. So I have a unique number, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I pull the labels for 1, 2, 3, and 4. And finally, I combine the label with the number of times missed.
Cool.
So starting in AA is really the display that you want.
Yeah.
And then the conditional highlighting is for the different measure. So people can, oh, purple means CPC reg. I can, oh, a lot of people are really strong at that.
Yeah.
Hari is the only one that's really weak at CPC reg. Anyway. And then if I go back to the previous tab, the strength weakness tab, that just pulls out for each leader, it pulls out that one cell. So all the work is done on the strength wink tab.
Cool.
Why is
Nice.
Treya got that date and time in there?
Treya.
Row 44.
It's manually. There's no formula.
Yeah, copy the formula above it. And then just recalculate that sheet and see what that is.
It's almost 12. I got to bounce soon. I got a 12 o'clock call.
Okay, cool. We up for tomorrow?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll just continue on with this.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, my man.
Wow, it's still bright over there.
I know. It's starting to be spring.
Nice. Nice.
All right, young man. Let me just see what I need to do to viewing Robert's screen. Let me just see what I need to do.
And
Here we go. All right, so I'm going to stop recording. All right, we'll see you tomorrow.
Great. Thank you, sir.